And we're in another studio.
That's right. We're in another studio because while the Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deepwater's studio, aka Callen and Company studio, is under construction, we're doing this out of Sam Tripoli's studio.
Yes.
And we have Dave Weiss, who is a true and honest to God flat earther. And I wanted, what I had said to Sam is, I want to get real conspiracy theorists who've done the work.
What does that statement mean?
Sorry.
Real conspiracy theorist. What am I?
Okay,
what
dude.
am I, tofu of flat earth and shit?
No, dude, you're all good, but you said you're not a flat earther.
No, I'm a realm guy.
He's lying.
Yeah.
I'm a realm guy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get into that when I have a moment to talk.
Okay, now Dave, you should all know, and you can see this, he's got Wake Up Plandemic, which I love.
Okay.
Because this is not a real...
Somewhat you can agree with, so we're finding common ground here.
We'll get into that. We don't have to get into that. What I want to do is a couple things. I want to get, Dave, I want to get your because for me, it's hard for me to believe.
Brian, before we start.
Yeah.
Because I would like for you to trust me on this.
Yeah.
And let me lead this thing right now. Okay? Because I have a whole plan on this.
Okay.
First of all, you want to get out your dates.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll just so you know, everybody, I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm doing December 31st, January 1st, January 2nd at Stand Up Live, Phoenix, New Year's. Come check it out. And then for the rest of my dates, bryancallen.com, because right now I don't know them and I'm not ready. But don't worry about that. Let's go and see.
I have no dates the rest of the year. I'm taking
everybody,
off.
I recommend if you're in the Phoenix area, go see those shows because it's going to be the first shows done by Bryan as a flat earther.
You son of a bitch! Take it back.
Joining us, for you don't know, on the ones and twos is my co-host from Tinfoil Hat, Johnny Woodard.
What's up,
And then
buddy?
on the couch, in case there's some Spanish or something like that we need done, Xavier Guerrero's over there, ready to jump in at any moment. So
Let me do my dates real quick. So Phoenix, Stand Up Live, December 31st, January 1st, 2nd, and then I'll be Port Charlotte, Florida at the Visani Theater, January 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then I'll be in Nashville, Tennessee, February 11th, 12th, 13th, and I just found out Miami, February 4, 5, 6. I don't fuck around.
Who are you, Florida man?
I know. I get a little crazy.
Nothing
All right.
wrong with that.
I just had to get that out of the way. All right, let's rock and roll.
This is obviously there's Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters, but this is basically a subreddit of it, or it's a special kind of show we call Smack. Okay, it's called Talking Smack. Smacking people, whatever. So we're gonna have Bryan Callen's been wanting to do this for a while. Bryan, like, the L's aren't enough between me. He wants to venture out and take L's from other people. So he wants to debate people who are experts on certain conspiracies, which is great. So Dave, and I want to get into how Dave's journey real quick. But Dave is part of the Flat Earth podcast, right?
I am the Flat Earth podcast.
He is the Flat Earth podcast. Dave has been on Tinfoil Hat many times. Eddie Bravo's usually here, or a whole cast of characters. All the people come out of the closets to admit that they believe that the Earth is flat. Okay, here's what's going to happen today. I'm going to moderate. Okay, I'm going to moderate the show because the truth is I'm a realm person. I've said this 1,000 times. I think we live on a realm. I have my own personal beliefs that you could find evidence for it being round, evidence for being flat. I love Dave. Dave's been on my show a bunch of times. I always appreciate him. And Bryan Callen's my very good friend, so I have no dog in this fight. So here's my biggest thing. Don't talk. My biggest thing is not talking over each other. And at the end of the day, this is just a conversation. It's meant to have fun.
Good.
So that's
Nice.
it. So I want to start off with, if you don't mind, Bryan, with Dave telling us how he became a flat earther.
That was actually my second question. Would it be all right?
Go.
Dave, can I just first ask you if you have any schooling whatsoever in science, physics, mathematics, or any of that stuff?
So if you mean schooling, if you mean, did I go to the indoctrination camps where they say memorize this, regurgitate it, and we'll give you an A? Absolutely.
Well, no. Hold on. But we do know that there are people who are physicists. There are people who can predict things like the movement of the planets. We know that there are people that can predict the weather, which we use all the time to fly. We do know science exists, and those people have studied in formal institutions. My question is, have you had any formal training in any kind of a recognized scientific institution?
I took 4 years of astronomy, but it was all bullshit. You already
Where'd you take
doing
that?
an argument. Your argument from authority fallacy, where you are saying people that study elsewhere are smarter than you, but we don't need to get into that. Listen. We don't live on a math equation. Hold on. I don't talk for very long, but I'm just going to make a point. Okay. The only thing that the globe has is subverting your authority to somebody else. Like, hey, this other person who studied, they say they know it. That's a fallacy.
I'm going to say this right now, Dave.
Math equations and misrepresentations. So we're going to clear some of that up today.
So here's something that's going on right now in the world. We talked about this just on Tinfoil Hat, that there's a lot of people who quote, and I know you're not an atheist, but there's a lot of people who say, oh, I'm an atheist, but their real religion is scientism. They start holding scientists as these higher form of beings.
Everybody's religious in a way, right? So
especially the people that believe in the ball. That's the biggest, hardest religion of all.
So Dave, what I meant to say was that if I have a broken bone or if I have a cancer, God forbid, or something, I'm going to go to a surgeon who studied and knows a little bit about the human body and medicine, right?
So you're going to go to somebody that has put their hands on bodies and fixed them, and that is absolutely makes perfect sense.
Right.
But we're talking about things that are above the sky or beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. That is all made up crap. I mean, you can talk about the center of the Earth ball, but no one's ever gotten down past 8 miles, and why they dug that 8 miles, they were wrong every step of the way. So again, you're operating off of presumed things that aren't real.
All I was doing was asking you what your schooling was, just because I want to know where you're coming from in terms of that. So in other words, you've not studied formally physics or geophysics or any of that
No,
stuff.
not formally, but I've studied more than most people have through all of their careers.
Callen, I will tell you this. If there's one thing flat earthers have, is research.
Right.
And if there was an actual course in it, they would have a doctrine in it.
Okay, so Dave, how did you become a flat earther?
I tried to debunk it. I was sick of people sending me flat earth stuff, banning them from our social media for being so stupid as to waste my time with this nonsense. And then I was forced to look into it, and I looked into it. I said, okay, that's it. I'm not going to debunk flat earth. That's stupid. I'm going to just prove the globe. That'll debunk flat earth. And for 2 weeks I tried. And then when I came out the other side, I'm like, holy crap, there's a problem with the ball. I'm not saying I'm a flat earther. There's a problem with the ball. That's a big problem. So then I started looking into it. And for 6 years, nonstop, every single day, I've been looking into it. I've been doing experiments. I've been getting other people that I know that have degrees like you're talking about. We've used lasers. We've used mirrors flashing the sun. We've used microwaves. We've done all sorts of things looking for curvature. There is none. Then we found out over time that all of the published scientists that have done experiments to prove the motion and spinning, motion and curvature of the Earth, they all failed. They all failed, and they came out the Earth is stationary and flat, but none of that is taught in school.
So I'm wondering why then would all these? I've never heard this until very recently. This flat Earth theory, right? So my schooling. And everybody I know, whether it's theoretical mathematicians or physicists or any of the people that basically plot our flight plans or aviation experts or even long-range snipers who have to take into account certain things like the curvature of the Earth.
That's a fallacy, but go ahead.
But I've talked to, but there's another that's not a fallacy, because I've talked to some guys, which I'll get into in a sec. But so why then are you guys, just you guys, these flat earthers, you guys have decided now that the Earth is flat, but why would everybody be lying to us?
Well, so that's a great question, and I can't answer that, but I have a good idea, and I'd rather answer that after I show you what's going on and why there's a problem with the ball. I can spend all day here. We can spend hours, and I could show you point after point after point after point. But I'd rather you start off by saying why you believe we live on a ball.
Yes.
But you can't say because that's what I was taught, because of NASA, because I'm going to destroy NASA if you say that. You can't say because too many people are in on it, and therefore it has to be true. You can't say because there would be whistleblowers on their deathbeds, and you can't say any of that. You have to give me a reason that you think we live on a ball. I can give you a reason that we live on a flat plane. Okay. It's because we can see too far.
I think what I'm going to do, I think what an easy thing to do for all of us would be, especially for a guy like me, is I just Googled 10 easy ways you can tell for yourself that the Earth is not flat. How's that sound? And I'll ask you.
It's horrible, and we're gonna. This is Flat Earth 101, and I'm just gonna show you.
I
know all of those 10. Good. Okay. Hit me with the first one.
Callen's got a white belt. He doesn't even have a belt. He has to hold up his dojo pants.
So let's do that. Let's do that because I happen to believe like a lot of that NASA does is great. Right. For example, predicting the weather, so farmers can tell how much moisture is in the ground, all that stuff, right? So we can predict when tornadoes or hurricanes are coming to save people's lives and stuff like that. So I think the National Weather Service and its affiliates seem to do a pretty good job of that, right? I mean, I use them all the time when you're plotting a flight plan.
That you're correlating two things that have nothing to do with each other. You know, because they can make an iPhone doesn't mean that we can go into outer space. So you're correlating things that don't matter. That you're begging the question.
But you'd say
that fallacy.
You'd say some science is good science even when it comes to the government, right? I mean, you believe in some of it.
Oh, there's science. Yeah, there's technology and stuff, you know, but it's not the government that's doing it. You know, there is science. There's smart people out there, and there's, you know, I'm talking on a computer from Connecticut. You know,
so you believe in science. You believe in the scientific method.
Well, yeah, science. I don't believe in scientism. You know, wait. Let me ask you a question, Brian. Is science ever settled?
No, I don't think so. I think
great.
One of its
so the high priest of scientism. The high priest of scientism, Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye, the lying guy with the bow tie, they say the science is settled and they will never talk to a flat earther. They say they will never talk to a flat earther.
Yeah, because they don't take you guys seriously.
Right, because the science is settled. Well, that shows you something's wrong there. But let's get into the 10 reasons.
Because I want to know. I want to hear what you have to say.
You guys are both doing well. Not a lot of talking over each other.
Right.
I feel like my job here is going to be pretty easy.
So,
yeah, I just enjoy it, Patty Cake. Hercules.
This is interesting. When it comes, can you explain why, when a lunar eclipse happens? A sequential view of the lunar eclipse that occurred in April 2015. You can see Earth's shadow crossing the face of the moon, and the shadow shape is curved because Earth is spherical.
Okay,
what do you say to that?
So that's called begging the question fallacy. You're assuming a model and asking me to explain it. So, you know, is the moon a sphere? Is the moon a sphere?
Looks like
spheres right here?
Yeah,
are these spheres?
That one's a cup.
Is the next one?
You son of a bitch.
Right. Is the next one a sphere? Is that a sphere? Before she touches it.
That looks like a sphere.
Yeah, okay. It's not. It's flat.
Damn it, Dave.
Is the next one a sphere?
Dave,
is that one a sphere?
He's trick questioning me. That's a goddamn sphere.
Okay. It's not a sphere.
God damn it.
All right. So Brian, let me ask you a question. So the last one is a sphere.
Dave's ready.
Let me ask you a question. Look at the ceiling right now. Are there any lights above you?
Yes.
Okay, look at them carefully, analyze their size, and tell me what shape the floor is.
What shape the floor is?
What shape the floor below your feet is. Okay. Based on what you're seeing in the sky.
Right.
Okay?
I don't know.
It's nonsense. But here's the thing. You have a huge advantage because you know how far those lights are. You've actually touched lights like that. So you know how big they are. Right. But they have nothing to do with the floor. The stars that we see in the sky and the planets have nothing to do with the floor. Like, this is a close-up of the star Arcturus. Our optics have outgrown their lies. This is what you see, not what NASA shows you. This is not a burning ball of hydrogen trillions of miles away. It's something within the Earth system.
So you're saying stars aren't that far away?
Here we go.
So Brian, can I share my app and show it for 2 minutes just to explain what the flat Earth model is, so Brian could ask more intelligent questions?
But wait, Dave, but is that for your answer?
You deserve that for questioning his training.
Dave, your answer then, when I say the Earth looks curved because of the shadow, are you saying that that is a phenomenon that could happen if the Earth was a disk?
So here's something, and I'm going to get into it. This usually takes a little bit longer, but I think we can cover it in 2 minutes. So you are told by Bowtie Bill Nye that only a ball can cast a shadow on another ball and create a curve. And then they show you, like, if it was a disc, you know, it would be a line and this and that. But the fact of the matter is, if you take a sphere and you have a single source light, the sun, and you put another sphere in the middle, that doesn't come in as a curve. It comes in as an ellipse. It comes in as an ellipse like this, and then it spreads out, and then it leaves as an ellipse, right? it doesn't look like what we see. Now, if I took a straight edge, like a piece of cardboard or whatever, and brought it in between the sun and that sphere, it would create exactly what we see. And I'm not saying that is what is happening, because that is not as what is happening. But what I'm saying is, because we see a curve, it can't be a sphere. And the other thing is, there's a thing called the Seleninian eclipses. There's over 50 of them that are documented. That is when the sun, like the sun that we see over here, is above the horizon. And then on the other side, the moon is above the horizon. So I'm a viewer. I'm on the top of the earth, and the sun is above, the moon is above, and the eclipse starts before one of them goes below the horizon. And not only that, the eclipse starts from the top. Okay? If the ball was coming up, the eclipse would start from the bottom, but it doesn't. What that tells you there, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is it's not the Earth that's doing it. Now, if you ask me what's doing it,
what's doing it, dude?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Listen,
but Dave,
hold on, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot we don't know, right? Because we can't go up there. Nobody can go up there. Nobody.
Well,
right.
So you don't believe anybody landed on the moon?
I'm going to talk about anything you want, but anything over cruising altitude, anything over the highest we can go in an airplane, or beyond the shoreline of Antarctica is speculation. I'm happy to speculate.
Beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, you think there's a shoreline in Antarctica? So you actually really believe that there's a ice wall?
So,
Brian, I
need 2 minutes to lay down the flat Earth model for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, do that. I want to hear that. Yeah, that actually we should do that first, so I know what we're dealing with. So that's good. Okay.
Okay. So right here this is what the flat Earth is. We live in the Antarctic basin. What that means is Antarctica is the highest land on Earth, and then there's a depression, a basin, and that's filled with water, and that's the world ocean. So here's the world ocean, and you have all of these continents in there. The shoreline of the flat Earth is Antarctica. It is the highest land on Earth. When you get to Antarctica, there is a wall, not like the Game of Thrones. There's an ice cliff. It's like 200 feet high. And when you get on top of that cliff, there's an ice plateau that goes for hundreds of miles. Okay. And then there's a mountain range that they say is higher than Mount Everest.
But wait, Dave, why have I never seen this wall? Like, for me, literally, you sound a little crazy, to be honest.
Listen, why I'm talking, why I'm sharing. Somebody go Google Antarctic ice wall, and there's 1 million pictures on the first hit. Okay, and there's video.
So Google agrees with what you're saying here?
No. What I'm saying is it's not something they're hiding. It's out there. It's out there. So let me just finish, and then you can ask them. Write down any questions you have. So here's the sun. The sun is tied to the hour hand, and the sun outruns the moon. It laps the moon once every 28 days. Think of each celestial object on a different wheel. The wheels in the sky keep on turning.
Is the sun circling the Earth?
Yes, it's circling above the flat Earth. You could ask me about sunsets. We'll get into that. Okay. So every 28 days, it laps the moon. Okay. You see how it's getting a little ahead of the moon, and the phases are changing on the moon. So the sun marks the hours, the moon marks the months. And if I slow it down and I turn on the stars, the constellation, the fixed stars, this is another solid proof of flat Earth. They're going slightly faster than the sun, so slightly that they only lap the sun once a year. So it takes a month for the next constellation to catch up to the sun, and then another month for the next one to catch up. And that's how the sun is in each constellation for about a month throughout the year. And that marks the season. So the sun marks the hours, the moon marks the months, and the stars.
So you're redoing the clock? Is that what you're doing right now?
No, I'm not redoing the clock. They redid the clock when they made it go around twice, 12 hours twice to throw us off. The clock is a 24-hour clock.
So did they do that? I mean, Aristotle. I mean, are we going all the way back to Aristotle?
Again, you're talking about people that you don't know exist. We're going to get there, and we're going to have a problem. So listen, I just turned on the world time. Right now, it's 9, wherever the sun is.
Aristotle doesn't exist anymore?
Listen
is such
to me.
Black belt shit. Get ready,
hey,
dog.
Hey, moderator, can you mute the guest, please?
I'm asking questions, Dave.
Listen, I'm going to lay out the model. I want to turn this off so you can ask questions, all right?
Good.
So right now, wherever the sun is, it's noon. Okay. So it's right now it's 9 a.m. in Eastern Australia. It's 6 a.m. in South Africa, and right here in where I am, it's 5:30 on the East Coast, and it's wherever you guys are. So that's how that works. So this is a compass. This is how a compass really works. The North Pole is the center of the flat Earth. It's at the center of the world pond. It's a magnetic point on Earth. Okay. All compasses point to the North Pole. Now, what I'm going to tell you now is not a proof for the flat Earth. If you want to go circumnavigate, here I'm going to leave California. My compass is pointing 270 degrees, which is dead west. Dead west is not a straight line like that. Dead west is a circle because I have to keep my compass needle pointing towards the north. So I'm going 270 degrees. I'm all the way around in Indonesia, Africa, and I come all the way back. I think I went in a straight line, but I went in a fucking circle, right? If I go east, billions of people have circumnavigated east and ended up right where they started. Another way I can get over to Japan is I can go north. I'm heading towards the north. And once I pass the North Pole, I'm now heading south, even though I never turned. Okay. That does not prove the earth is flat because all of those things work on a flat earth and a globe.
Or a globe, right.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Turn off the compass just so you can see. I'm in South America in Santiago, and I want to go south over Antarctica. If I go south, I should pop up over in Australia. Or if I go south from Johannesburg, South Africa, I should pop up over in New Zealand.
If the Earth is flat.
If the Earth is a globe,
Okay.
that should happen. Nobody has ever done it. No one has ever circumnavigated south.
How do you
People
know
have
that?
gone-
How do you know that?
Because here you want to, so I'm going to show you, just write down how do you know that, because I'm going to show you that in a second. Okay. The last thing is, if you Google flat earth, you end up at the Flat Earth Society. It's a government controlled website that has all disinformation on it. It's to make people laugh and discount flat earth. So that is nothing we believe there. Nothing it says there we believe. So the question is, people have questions. So you hit the little question mark and up come, hey, like, where's the edge?
Yep.
Or, what about Southern flights? Or, why the lie? And if you hit why the lie, up come a whole list of videos that will explain your questions. So all of the stuff is there. I have other links to other shows and different languages for people that don't speak English. And the last thing is,
dude, this is your full-time job.
This is my full-time job.
Is the craziest
It's almost like he's got doctrine in it.
But Dave, what the fuck?
Hold on. Let me finish, and then you can ask anything you want.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
almost done. 30
Dude,
seconds.
this guy brought a spork to a gunfight.
30 seconds. 30 seconds, Brian.
Hilarious.
Brian,
So every day, there's
Brian,
a new
this is
featured
round
video.
one.
Hold on, I love it.
Listen, every day there's a new featured video. I say, listen, if you hate flat Earth, get the app. It's $2.99. That's it. Okay.
There's nothing
It's
wrong
not
with
a big
that.
deal. It's half a friggin' beer, right? You click the featured video, and I say, just watch it every day for 2 weeks. One video a day. Short ones during the week, long ones during the weekend. And after 2 weeks, you will know that you don't live on a globe. And this is what happens. They go, hey, I was watching a tinfoil hat, you dumb flat earther. I bought your stupid app, and I took the challenge, but I didn't want to wait. So I hit the archive button, which is right next to the featured video, and up comes all of the videos that you've put on the app over the years. Here's the current month, and here's all of the other months. I haven't slept in 2 days. My family thinks I'm crazy. What the hell do I do? Okay?
It's so nuts. Yeah. Well, I won't do that, but I do like this. Okay, so now,
right,
so
go ahead.
just humor me. I'm
May
gonna
do
Your question,
this.
because you asked me a couple good questions, and I forgot what they were.
Well, no, it's okay, because I said, how do you know we have never circumnavigated the globe from south to north?
Because if they're lying about it, if they're faking it, then you know it's not true. So the Guinness Book of World Records, I forget the guy's name. You can look it up. I think it's something like Z Pilot. He circumnavigated the world, and this is the route he took. He went all the way up around the North Pole. I forget which direction. I think he went this way. He went over to these islands, came over here, went over to Santiago. Then he went to south. He went over here to Antarctica, and then he turned around and came back and went all the way up and all the way around
That
again.
doesn't prove anything, though, Dave. Dave,
that doesn't prove anything, right?
No,
but they gave that as the world record for the first person to circumnavigate. This is what that looks like on a flat Earth map.
But so maybe the Guinness World Book of Records is off, but hold on. My confusion is that, when you talk about Einstein, when you talk about
why would I talk about Einstein? He's a moron.
Einstein was a moron. So the theory of relativity and what about
it was inserted to get rid of the ether because they
Dave,
could not have the ether
Dave,
without Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my fundamental problem with what you're saying, and with all due respect, we do benefit, you and I, every single day from things like, I don't know, the fact that, like you just said, we're talking to each other over the electromagnetic field, that I can use my iPhone to track my flight as I'm flying, for example, that I can that I have satellites and I have satellite technology that allows me for good, all this stuff, right? So if this is a massive, well, no, but so in other words, but wait, no, it's not, because there
yes,
is science.
You said satellites. Show me proof of satellites.
So you don't believe in satellites either?
So hang on. Wait, listen, Brian, listen, here's the thing.
Dave, what kind of a lie? How big of a lie?
Brian, you have to listen to me.
Yeah.
We've gone down this road. I've done this. You're going to have 50 questions stacked up and we're not going to answer any of them. Go one at a time.
Okay.
Hit me with one at a time and I will give you a short, succinct answer.
Let's go back to this. So I've heard, this is the other one, number 2, ships and the horizon. I know this is 101 shit for you.
This is like not even 101.
Right. Oh, good. Look, he's got it up now.
This is 101. So see these ships? Are they above the horizon or below the horizon? Because they're going to disappear when I zoom out.
Right.
See this?
Right.
Yeah. So what happens is, you know what the angular resolution limits of your eyesight is?
I
Do
do
you
not.
have any idea what that means?
I do not. No.
Okay. I would imagine that your eyes can't see something when it gets to a certain angular size. Angular size is the actual size in arc. Okay, that boat is not over the horizon, nor are those mountains. See that boat right there?
Yeah.
Right. That boat is actually beyond the mirage line. It's mirroring, and when I zoom out, the boat will completely disappear, and people will complain. Will say that it's over the horizon.
Right.
It's not over the horizon. It's just too small to see. See this gigantic boat right here? Do you think that one's going to disappear when I zoom out?
I would imagine.
Well, it's going to. And if I wasn't having this conversation with you, you would say the boat is over the horizon.
Well, that's what.
It's not.
No, I wouldn't say that. Scientists say that.
Yeah, no. Scientists. What scientist is going to say this is over the horizon? Look, if I'm on the beach watching that boat, I'm like, look, it's going. Oh, I can't see it anymore.
I'm telling you that
it went over the curve of the earth.
But I'm telling you.
Can you see my house right now? Because if you can, it must be because of curvature. What
I'm telling you is that scientists. So when you're shooting a missile,
what scientists? Who are you assuming? You're giving your authority away to the word scientist. I'm a scientist.
You're not a
He
scientist.
is a scientist.
I am a scientist.
He is a scientist,
Do I need a piece of paper that says I know how to use my brain, do something, repeat it?
The same reason, yes, you do. For the same reason that if you're going to fly a plane, or for example, you're going to operate on me, I want a piece of paper.
But Brian, real quick. Explain what's happening in this video according to using your science.
Well, I'm going to read, because I'm not a scientist. I'm going to read this.
No, but that what says right there.
But you say ships do not submerge and rise up again as they approach our view, except in Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever.
They don't. Look at this. Look at this entire city. This entire city is going to fall over the horizon.
So the reason ships appear as they emerge up from the waves is because the world is flat, not round. Okay, it's like an ant on an orange. They use this model. Okay, imagine an ant walking along the surface of an orange into your field of view. If you look at the orange head on, you will see the ant's body slowly rising up from the horizon. Right.
Dave.
Let him talk, and then you can answer.
Sorry.
So if you would do that experiment with the ant approaching along a long road rather than a round object, the effect would change. The ant would slowly materialize into view, depending on how sharp your vision is. So that sounds like a working model for me. That makes sense. If an ant's walking up, I'm going to see him as the ant walks down. I'm gonna lose him. Right. Right? I mean, is that fair or not?
Under that model.
It's absolutely not fair.
Dave's rolling his eyes. Dave's rolling his eyes.
Let me explain why.
Okay.
Because you're assuming we're on a ball, and that absolutely what you're saying is absolutely true. But we don't live on a ball. I mean, there's many explanations. Here, check this out. I've got $4, right? Now, did I get $2 and $2 more, or did I get $1 4 times, or did I have $5 and someone take $1 away? All of them equal 4.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But you can't. So none of them prove anything, right? I'm showing you now that ships and cities don't go over the horizon. Let me show you another one.
Real quick.
Can I get this straight?
Hold on. I want to explain to you, Brian, what this video is showing. This is a zoom, okay?
Yes, I
They're
understand.
zooming in.
I know that.
So that means it doesn't matter about if the ant is coming over the top.
Dave is saying essentially the reason they disappear is because they get farther away and our eye can't see it, or a
Yeah, but the
telescope
zoom
can't
helps
see it.
us
exactly
see
what
it.
I'm saying.
Okay. So your only explanation for this particular thing is not ant on an orange. What you're saying is that as you pull back, it disappears because we lose sight of it. Okay. Can I ask you a question, Dave?
Yeah, and then I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
It'll be my turn to talk.
When
Go
you
ahead.
shoot a missile at an object that you cannot see, which we do all the time. So we have the capability to shoot and hit targets very far away. If you talk to anybody who's in the military, who's involved in this,
we have. We have recordings.
They do take into account, Dave. Do they or do they not take into account the curvature of the Earth? And
They absolutely do not.
well, they would all disagree with that.
Okay, Brian, it's now your time to listen to me.
Okay.
We have interviews with Navy captains, gunnery people that are saying that at 100 miles away from their ship on the sea, they're pinpoint laser targeting other ships 100 miles away.
Yeah.
Do you know what the curvature at 100 miles is?
I do not.
It's over a mile of curvature, right? But they're able to see them and pinpoint them with a laser. Now, when they shoot a missile at it, they might have to shoot it up a little bit, because if you shoot a bullet level with the ground and you drop a bullet at the same time, they're both going to hit the ground at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're shooting something far away, you might have to aim a little higher. That's not because of curvature. That's because of the downward force of whatever it is pulling on.
Why then on this topic, so hold this now, why then do cyclones swirl clockwise in the southern hemisphere and counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere? And why do long-range snipers have to take into account...
I got your comment.
Right, but hold on. But with long-range snipers have to take into account the fact that the wind does spin that way versus the other way when they shoot, right? And that is explained by what's called the
Coriolis effect.
Thank you, the Coriolis effect. So explain that.
Brian's wow.
Explain that.
This is the affirming the consequences fallacy. Its correlation does not cause causation. Okay, so let me explain what's going on now. On the I'm trying to think how the best way to say it is. You said it yourself that the snipers are adjusting for wind. Yeah, they adjust for wind, but they're not adjusting for the spin of the Earth. Because if that was true, then, a helicopter, I put my drone up, it stays up for an hour, it should land 1,000 miles away, because the Earth would spin out from underneath it, because I'm no longer connected to the Earth. But
hold on.
You're saying Coriolis says that the air is disconnected from the Earth, and that's why things spin. But we could send a balloon up, like Felix Baumgarten, for example. Felix Baumgarten went up 138,000 feet. He's the Red Bull jump guy. You remember him?
Yeah.
Remember this guy?
Yes.
He's up at 138,000 feet. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour to the east.
Okay.
So he went up, right? And it's spinning to the east, so he should land out in the west, in the ocean from Arizona or New Mexico, wherever he took off. He should land out to the west. But when he landed east of where he took off. He outrun the spin of the Earth. That gets rid of Coriolis right there completely.
¿Por qué?
Earth is clearly flat and stationary.
That's what you're here for.
The Earth is clear. So the Earth is not even spinning.
No, the Earth does not move at all. So let me explain.
The Earth doesn't move. So you don't hold on. You actually, if you say that now, hold on. You don't believe in centrifugal force or gravity, right?
Absolutely
on, man.
not. See that?
I'm listening to this, and I want certain things discussed, because what happens is someone makes a point, and then you guys just yell at each other. I want to go back to. I want 2 points for Brian to bring up, because I don't have a dog in this race, but I need to know Brian's explanation. So those videos, when they zoom in on the video, they show you right there. That means they got it, and they zoom back.
Right.
How do you explain that?
That the Earth is curved.
But Brian, they shot straight on it, meaning they
Unbelievable.
zoomed in
But
on
they
it.
disappear.
Unreal.
They disappear over the
They
horizon.
don't disappear
But how
over
did
the
I
horizon,
zoom back
Brian.
in on it? If
It's
it was
right
over the
there.
horizon, I would never be able to zoom back in on it.
Well,
It's still there.
Mike,
You're
It's still there.
and
Go
you-
back to that
Brian,
video,
Brian,
Dave.
come on,
Go
Sam,
back to
let
the
me
video.
talk.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't understand the angular resolution limits of your eyes. You weren't taught that in school. Okay, it's still there. It's gone, not because of curvature. Because if it was, it doesn't matter if I zoomed in. I would be looking over it. but I'm not. I zoom in on it and it reappears. You don't understand how your eyes work.
You're saying then if you had a powerful enough telescope, you could see anything all the way across the Earth.
I am not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Why does it disappear? Because if we have I have a really powerful telescope, right, Dave?
Right. So have you ever swim in a big giant pool? You can't see the other end of the pool because of the density of the water. Air is the same thing. It gets dense over time. Hey, so I showed this on the last time we're on. But this is on a super clear day. I have my drone up, 4K camera, and over 5 minutes, the sun came from all the way up here and came all the way down to the horizon. And then when it got there to this apparent horizon, it just sat there. Now, this is sped up like 2,000 times, right? It just sat there and it stopped going down. It sat there for 10 friggin' minutes and it stopped going down. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, okay.
Listen, just watch, pay attention.
Yeah.
It didn't go down. Look, it disappeared. It didn't go below that line. Watch, I'm gonna do it again.
Dave,
it's sitting at this line.
Dave, I've seen it go over the horizon, dude. I've seen it go like
dude,
down.
You're not. So hold on.
Right, I have seen this. Watch this. Ready? I've seen this. But Dave, listen to me. Listen to me. Take it easy.
You're not hearing me.
Buddy.
Brian, you're not letting me finish a single story, and you are just putting out your
I'm here to stop.
assumptions.
Let him talk.
He gets so
and then
worked
Brian,
up.
you can talk.
He gets so worked up.
Because you're not answering the video, dude.
No, I'm going to ask a question.
The boat video, you don't have an answer.
I do have an answer for that.
Brian,
what's your answer?
how
Let's
can
go back
they
to the
zoom
boat video.
in on it?
What's your answer?
Here's my answer.
Watch it. That's a building, Brian.
Right. So, Dave, ready for my answer?
Stand still.
Right.
It's standing still, Brian. It's not going away. They're zooming back, Brian. They're just simply zooming back.
I know. Hold on. Watch this. Ready, Dave? So according to your flat Earth, since I can see, would you agree that I can see with a telescope the planetary bodies, Saturn, Jupiter, the Moon? Is that true or no?
I will agree that you see a light in the sky. You have no friggin' idea what it is.
So it's hard to argue if you're going to totally deny the fact that.
Well, you're saying things that are out of our reach. We can argue all day about them.
How far?
But hang on. Just listen. How far? How big? How the fuck would anybody know? Nobody knows. Okay. So check this out. If we have all the planets are in the sky are coming up for this alignment coming up on the 21st. But have you seen Mars recently? Have you looked up and seen Mars in the last year?
No, not personally.
It's in the sky. If you have a clear night, go out tonight and look at Mars. It is the brightest frigging star in the sky.
Okay.
So you have to believe that the sun, which is a small dot from Mars's point of view, is lighting up that dusty, dirty orange ball, and it's reflecting back to Earth brighter than a star.
Okay, I was getting at something else though.
That makes hold on. That makes no sense, and you don't understand another thing called the inverse square law of light, which I'm not going to explain because you're not going to understand.
So I have a much simpler question for you. What I was trying to get at is that we do have the capability to see very far with telescopes. We have that technology. Okay, right? So by that,
wait, hold on. No, we don't.
We don't.
Okay? Let me explain.
Okay.
Let me explain. They're talking about trillions of miles. You have no idea what a trillion is. So you're saying we can see far because NASA is showing you pictures, right?
Well, not just NASA, but there are probably other. We have other people, independents, other countries as well.
So here's two pictures of what planet is this?
I don't know.
You don't know what planet that is? Come on, it's Jupiter.
I'm not an astrologer, dude.
Just listen. Yeah. Use your brain here. Let me ask you a question. In 2016, NASA goes, look, we got this amazing picture of the northern lights on Jupiter. Does that look fake to you?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so hold on. I got you. Maybe that is the Northern Lights.
Sure.
But in 2014, NASA released this picture. Now, they tell us that they've shown us video of those stripes are different storms and they're going in opposite directions and that this storm is spinning around and around. You lay these two things over each other, every single ripple and every single cloud is the exact same. So NASA is telling us that these two pictures are taken over 2 years apart, but nothing has changed. That tells you right there, NASA's completely full of shit.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say, dude, is that I would imagine, because I've actually looked myself in telescopes, you can see, or binoculars, we know how to magnify imagery, okay? And I believe...
I've seen it too. Saturn,
so we have the technology. So by your estimation, if there's no curvature, I should be able to stand here and see China with a powerful enough telescope. Yeah, true or false?
Absolutely false, and
Why?
you did not listen to what I said.
Why is that
You
false again?
absolutely-
Explain
you
why
absolutely
that
did
is.
not listen. Our eyes can't see through
It's
air.
not our
After-
eyes. Oh, I'm talking about telescopes.
After a certain amount of distance, those cities disappeared. That's like 20 miles or
Right.
25 miles, something like that, or maybe it's a little farther. But let's call it 50 miles, right? Those cities disappeared in 50 miles. And they also because they got so small and then the air got so dense, it could block out the sun, right? But you think I could go see China? That's insane.
But if
That's
a
insane.
telescope
So if I
is
dug a
strong
hole
enough, could it?
Dave, if I dug a hole from here right now, all the way through your disc
This
or
is-
your whatever it is that your flat plane, right? Where would I end up?
So this is called begging the question fallacy. You're assuming a model, and if
You
you
told me
lived
the
on a
model.
ball, listen. You can't say that because it's never happened. The deepest hole ever dug is just short of 8 miles. It's done in Russia.
Russians.
They hit an impenetrable barrier and they tried to blow it up and drill through it for years and they couldn't get through it. So the deepest hole ever dug is 8 miles, short of 8 miles. So that's like if you had an apple and you were drilling through the apple, you didn't even get through the friggin' skin of the apple. And by the way, when you were using your ground penetrating radar the whole way down through the skin, you were wrong every step of the way. Like, oh, there's no more water, they hit water. Oh, there's no more rocks, they hit rocks, right? And then you hit an impenetrable barrier, but you know it's at the center of the apple. It's complete and total nonsense. Let me ask you a question. Does Jupiter look spherical to you?
It does. Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
All right, so this just shows you how stupid your eyes are. It's a picture of a meadow with ducks
What
and
the
grass.
fuck, Dave?
I saw that. I can't
Dave,
believe
you're
you
leading me
didn't fall
down
for
the.
that.
I didn't see the ducks.
I saw it.
And I
I'm
like
showing
ducks.
you this was a shitty picture. I can take the bottom of a
Son of a
frying pan
bitch.
and make
Son
you
of a
think it's a new
I
exoplanet.
can't believe you fell for
Son
it
of a
twice.
bitch, Dave. All right, so listen. So, Dave, so now that you fucked me up with these ducks, the thing is that, so we don't know, you're saying we actually don't know what's on the dark side of the earth, in other words. We don't know what's under the earth.
Well, we don't know what's under 8 miles on a globe Earth or a flat Earth.
Okay, good.
Nobody knows.
So for you to say that the Earth would be flat means that the theory of gravity is bullshit, and that everything that Newton's mathematical equation for gravity is bullshit. Or
All right, so hey, I owe you $100. I owe you $100. So I'm going to pay you right now. I'm going to Venmo you $4, and then the other $96 are dark dollars. I can't show you where they are. I can't prove they exist, but trust me, they exist. Okay, that's the story of gravity. We're even. I've just paid you. Gravity has never been proven. The high priest Neil deGrasse Tyson of scientism says it's only a theory and they don't know what it is. Every test to prove gravity has failed, and there's no way mass doesn't attract mass. Period. I mean, the theory of gravity is just to hold up the heliocentric model. Nothing exploded, created everything, and then all of the solid matter coalesced into balls, and all of the gases coalesced into giant, bigger balls and ignited on fire and left a vacuum in between. Okay. And then they started attracting each other and started orbiting each other. None of that makes any sense whatsoever. It's all scientism bullshit.
So satellites don't exist. Gravity doesn't exist.
So
Right.
want me to explain gravity?
Yes.
I don't know if you're
Please.
able to handle it, but it's
I'm
very
ready.
simple.
Go ahead.
So the Earth is everything. The only true forces on this Earth are magnetism and electricity. That's a fact. You can look it up, and it is what it is. The Earth is a dielectric plane. It has a negative charge to it. Measurable, testable, not science. It's science, and it's not a theory. That negative charge sets an attraction. It attracts things, and it's a very weak force. It just establishes a down, and then buoyancy and density. I drop my microphone.
Sure, you're talking science right now. Yeah.
It falls because it's denser than the air around it. A helium balloon goes up.
So it's density
it's
versus
lighter
buoyancy.
than the air.
It's density. It's not centrifugal force. It's density versus buoyancy. That's your theory.
But centrifugal force is not what gravity is. Centrifugal force is not what gravity is. You're using the wrong words.
Well, I thought since the globe is spinning, forgive me, this is all high school shit. Wait,
If the whole globe is spinning, things would be being thrown off the globe, not pulled towards
because
the globe.
remember what I've done, because one of the things is when you go to an amusement park, when you do that fucking spinning thing and you can't get off the ground, you know what I mean? When it's going and they show you that basically you're stuck to the wall.
Yeah,
right?
but
Yeah, because you're on the inside. You're on the inside of that. If you made that whole cage a sphere, you're on the inside of it. Go on that. It's called the roundup. Go on the outside of it and tell them to turn the ride on.
Right, because the wall's holding you in other words.
Right.
And you get pushed
think
out.
of the Earth as the roundup. You're on the outside of it. Okay. How fast is the Earth spinning? Do you know?
So
And
they say 2,000 miles an hour or something like that? Or?
No. Well, that great guess because it doesn't matter. 1,000. How fast is it? How fast is it orbiting the sun? How fast?
I don't know. It's well.
Right,
I
I'm gonna
imagine
tell you.
it orbits the sun. Doesn't it take 24 hours? That's why you'd have the.
No. It
that's
orbits
a
the sun.
year.
It takes
A year.
365
It takes a year.
days
I'm
to
sorry.
orbit.
I'm sorry. Of course. Duh. It's a
So
year.
it's going. They tell us
Senior
66
moments.
I'm sorry.
Listen, let me get this point across.
My bad.
They tell us 66,600 miles an hour. Interesting. 666. I wonder where that came from. But we
What
won't
the
even get
fuck,
into that.
dude? Satanic stuff?
So hang on.
Jesuits.
We're spinning, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, when you watch the sunset,
Yeah.
you believe that you're falling over backwards on a ball, which is making the sun appear to go down. Okay, that's what you have to believe. We're also orbiting the sun at 66,600 miles an hour, and we're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, and that entire system is moving sideways at 1 million or 2 million miles an hour. Okay, and
okay.
Sam's favorite, all of that happens, and we have this, right? Perfect, calm glass water, not bulging, not sloshing, not anything. And your only explanation is, well, we're already going at those speeds, so it doesn't matter. But they're all turning. Like if you're in a car going 100 miles an hour, you could sip a glass of wine, a beer, whatever, but then take a turn, it's going to slosh out. And if you're on the Earth, we're dropping it like 5 miles a minute. That's acceleration.
So another way, in order to believe, it seems your point of view, right? Then how, when somebody draws up a flight plan, who's in on this huge lie?
Yeah,
Because,
so that's
right?
a great question. That's a great question. And the way pilots, a lot of pilots are waking up and coming out and speaking forward, but a lot of them are afraid to because they lose their jobs when they do.
My dad's a pilot. He's not afraid. Trust me.
So he just doesn't know, right? You follow the flight plans. GPS will circle you around. It'll take you where you go. There's probably swaths of ocean that you can't even get to because GPS doesn't work. By the way, back to GPS.
But how does GPS work?
Did you? So
Satellites,
GPS
right?
is a. So
I'm told it's satellites.
So you're told, but there's zero photographs of the 20,000 satellites that are in space. There's zero photographs.
I've seen a lot of photographs, actually. I've seen a lot of photographs. I've seen a lot of photographs though, of satellites.
You've seen zero. You've seen zero. Okay.
I've seen a lot of photographs.
You haven't looked.
So they're
hold
fake.
on.
You mean they're fake
for 6 friggin' years. You've seen zero.
So the satellites are fake. You're saying the pictures I've seen are fake.
Hang on. Did you know that NASA has many balloon programs where they put satellites, like 8,000-pound satellites, up on balloons that stay up there for over a year? Are you aware?
Well, I know
of
they
this?
have weather balloons, so I'm not sure how that works.
No. They have Sataloon programs. They have 15 different programs. I think it's more than 15, and they have tens of thousands of these things in the sky at all times. These satellites are crashing all over the Earth all the time.
So, Dave, you're saying NASA? Why is NASA floating those up?
They're using them for many different reasons. I don't think they use them for GPS because here's the problem: GPS doesn't work out.
Yes, it does.
Listen,
I got here that way.
Listen,
Yeah.
You're not hearing me.
Yeah.
GPS doesn't work over the southern oceans or even between California and Hawaii. When you get a couple hundred miles off the coast, there's no GPS. You go into approximated mode and they calculate your flight path and the GPS shows you approximately where you are. So if you have a professional GPS program, it'll say approximated mode. So that's the same over the southern oceans because there's no land, no place to have a tower. It's the same over the middle of the Amazon jungle.
So how does it work?
So if satellites were real and orbiting all around like they tell us, there would be GPS everywhere. There would be, it would work everywhere.
Can you explain
equally.
to me? Do you know why on my phone I can get anywhere I want in this country or anywhere?
Because of cell service and radio towers, and because you're near land. Take it halfway to Hawaii and see if you can get any signal doing anything. You can't get anything.
What's confusing to me, Dave, is that you're believing in some science, right? You believe in some science, right? So you believe in radar. You believe in cell towers. You believe in some, right? I mean, you admit that you believe in that. You're using words like buoyancy.
You are using science. You're gaslighting me now.
No, hold on. Just listen, please. You're using scientific terminology that you learned, right? But through all your research. So it seems to me you are adopting some science and rejecting other science. And I wonder why. Why is that?
I'm adopting things that are provable, and I'm rejecting things that are pseudoscience that have zero proof. Do you know what the 3-body problem is? NASA has a problem. It's called the 3-body problem. They can take a computer model and say, I've got a ball this size, and because of its size and mass, it has this much gravity. And I have a ball this size, it has this much gravity, and I'll put it into an orbit, and the model will work like a frigging clock perfectly. It'll just go on and on and on forever. Then they add a third body, another mass to it, and the entire model falls apart because each mass tugs on the other one, and the thing just becomes a crazy beehive. Well, our solar system itself has like 80 or 100 bodies in it with all the moons or whatever the number is, and they never ever tug on each other. How come, we're falling around the sun at 93 million miles away? That's literally like a yoga ball and a baseball like a couple miles away. Somehow the yoga ball is holding onto the baseball. It's falling around the sun. And then when the moon, which is falling around the earth, gets in the middle, how come the sun doesn't rip it away, or at least just tug it a little bit, pull it out of orbit just a little bit? None of that ever happens.
Doesn't it do that?
Planetary alignments, none of that ever happens.
I thought the moon's gravitational pull is what affects the currents.
No, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with the tides, because think about this. Do you know what a new moon is? Do I have to explain that? A new moon is when there's no light, when the moon is not visible in the sky.
Right.
All right. So, when there's a full moon, there's an extra high tide. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. When there's a new moon, it's not the same. Well, the moon's still there. It's just not, according to the heliocentric model, lit up by the sun. What difference does that make in gravity?
Is the moon not there, Dave, because because the Earth is rotating and the sun is rotating? I'm sorry, because the Earth is rotating and it's rotating around the sun. Doesn't that make sense? And so is the moon. I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
The moon's going around the Earth. Right now, if you look at this model right here, this is what's called a new moon, because the dark side of the moon is facing the Earth and the sun is lighting up the backside of this nonsense circular, globular moon.
But you would agree that we're able to predict the tides, right, with the moon. So why is that?
We are, but it has zero correlation to the moon.
Okay,
so
what does it have to do with?
Do you know what tidal nodes are? You have no idea what tidal nodes are. These high tides happen in the weirdest places at the weirdest times. And only saltwater oceans have tides, but giant lakes do not have tides. So that tells me that the tides are electrical in nature. The Earth is a giant battery. The salt water carries the current, and the sun and the moon are the anode and diode of the Earth system. It's all connected together.
Ooh, I like
so when the sun and the moon are going between the tropics, now, the sun and the moon go between the tropics,
right?
So the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Let me just show you what that looks like.
By the way, I want to pause. Dave's got an answer to every fucking one.
Earth
this
people,
is nuts.
dude. So
Dave's
real quick, as he's looking this up, Brian,
one of these questions.
I think it's a great question. When he brought up the Red Bull guy, the guy goes up, right? The Earth is spinning,
right?
He jumps. How come he lands near where he jumped?
Well, he landed ahead of where he jumped.
Isn't he spinning with, because he's within the Earth's atmosphere? Isn't he spinning with the globe, Dave?
No,
Brian,
if he's in the
Brian,
air.
this is new for you because you're not using your brain at all here.
I don't know. But Dave, isn't he's not outside the atmosphere, so isn't he revolving with the Earth? Like,
all right. So Brian, yeah. So you got him. He's on the Earth.
Yeah.
Let's say he's on the Earth, and the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour.
Right.
So he's moving at 1,000 miles per hour.
Sure.
If he's up here,
right,
this circle is bigger than the Earth's circle.
Right.
So he actually has to go faster. So first, how does he gain that extra speed to keep up with the Earth? And then on top of that, how did he outrun the frigging Earth?
Well, okay, I would say this way. If a plane is going 600 miles an hour and it's headed toward China from here, for example, right? I don't know what the flight path would be. Doesn't the plane take into account the Earth's rotation? And in fact, hold on, Dave, listen to this. So apparently SpaceX, they're trying to come up with a way to shoot a plane through the Earth's atmosphere. There's a lot of research in this, right? Listen. Through the Earth's atmosphere. Let the Earth spin and then come straight back down. And then guess what? When you're out of the atmosphere, the only way to do it is you're out of the atmosphere, let the Earth spin, you come back into the atmosphere, and then you land in China. So that's what I know that SpaceX is working on, that particular technology. So for me, right? Would you agree with that?
A bunch of bullshit is what you know. None of that is real. None of that. That is fantasy land.
Well,
okay,
they're putting a lot of money into it, aren't they? What? Okay, let me ask you this: if they do come up with that, if they do, will you believe that the Earth is out? That your theory is wrong?
So let me ask you a question: which one of those rockets is real? This is rockets landing on rafts. Which one of them is real? Okay.
Well,
Watch, it'll show it again. So you got the one on the right landing on a raft, and you got the one on the left landing on a raft in high, rough, windy seas.
I don't know, dude. But would you say
so the one on the
is
on the
Elon
right
Musk
is
lying?
Listen, the one on the right is a 1950 something Russian movie, and then this is SpaceX on the left.
Okay.
Provably false, fake nonsense. This thing is like 15 stories high. It weighs like 40 tons empty, and that little fire right there is stopping it and landing it on a raft that you couldn't stand on because the seas are so high. This is nonsense.
So
this is
Elon Musk and Tesla are lying.
So
Tesla?
Elon Musk is the CEO of the largest tunneling company, the CEO of Tesla Motor Cars. He's the CEO of the largest solar power manufacturer.
Right.
He's the CEO of, he took over fucking NASA. All right. Bullshit. The guy is a moron. You know what he said when they launched his
Not
stupid
that big
car
of a
into
moron.
space?
I drive his car. It's
He's
pretty
a
good.
moron,
Said-
dude. But I mean,
You guys know, you remember when he launched his car into space, right? And they showed us this nonsense. Right.
No, I don't
This, by the way, isn't even as high as the space station, and it could see the Earth like that, but the space station can't see the Earth like that. It's nonsense. He said you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. We'd have
did say
much
that.
better CGI.
Okay, that's good. But so Dave, so now all the pictures from space are all lies, according to you. All
No, not according to me. Let me ask you a question. This is a photo of Jupiter. I mean, of Pluto that NASA took. Does it look like
would've
it has
guessed
the
that.
freaking dog Pluto on it?
No.
That doesn't look like the dog Pluto.
It does not
that
look
doesn't
like the
look,
dog Pluto,
That
damn
doesn't
it.
look. That outline doesn't represent Pluto. It doesn't.
I don't.
That's
no.
just a coincidence. By the way, so check this out. This is a photo of Jupiter taken by the Cassini spacecraft. I think that's what it was, but whatever it was going 60,000 miles an hour. It's out close to Pluto, where the sun would look like a star. Somehow that sun lit Pluto up enough with its 1 megapixel or 4 megapixel camera, was able to take a photo and send it back. Do you know that Pluto the dog was created the same year as Pluto the planet was made up? Okay. It's all mockery.
So Dave,
right?
All of NASA and all those scientists, all those astrophysicists,
Every single one of them.
every one of them is a liar.
Well, actually, some of them are just, they're all compartmentalized.
Real quick.
They don't know, they don't know what they don't know. They're, there's many people like in the control room during a launch, like, these people, are just, some of them are in on it. Some of them are not. They're willful idiots.
Well, that seems pretty condescending to a bunch of scientists. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
but Brian, you also believe that there's something going on with COVID, right? That there's a bunch of bullshit. Dr. Fauci, who all fight for charity.
My thing with COVID is it's political in some ways, and I think people are so cautious and overly cautious and not. The CDC's data, when I go by CDC's data, when I say anybody under 49 years old, it has a 99.92% chance of living, that's what I get riled up about. We're shutting everything down and businesses are going.
We're not going to the COVID thing. We're staying on flat Earth.
That's where I get crazy.
No,
right?
but the point is,
I actually put that up to government ineptness, and also a lot of times government, they're just very cautious. They might know something I don't know, but there are a lot of things that government does that we are indebted to. I mean, tracking nuclear waste, tracking nuclear weapons. There are a lot of things. I mean, a lot of scientists in the Department of Energy, Department of Agriculture, Department of Commerce that are selfless civil servants. Not 100,000 people who work in the Department of Energy. Not all of them are liars. These are nuclear physicists. A lot of them that are
Moderator,
doing.
can you get us back on
doing good
topic,
work,
please?
So anyway, so
Moderator,
Dave,
back to flat Earth.
But Dave, let me go through.
Explain the Red Bull guy.
So Dave, I'm getting from you so far because I want to cap this up. That my belief in satellites is erroneous because we've never seen a satellite. We have no pictures of satellites. The pictures from space showing that the Earth is round are not to be trusted or believed, right?
So can we just pause there and address that topic?
Yes.
So here are two. Let me find a better photo. So NASA presented us with two images of Earth. Okay, 2012 and 2020 or whatever it was. Do you see a problem here? The United States is this big on this one, and it's this big on the other one. These balls have the same diameter, right? This one is tilted away. So instead of having the Earth, it's tilted away. So it actually should be smaller, but it's bigger.
Dave,
right?
you're not convincing me as a layman here because these are pictures. So what you're doing is like
no.
You know what I mean?
These are NASA photos. Okay.
So NASA made the mistake of that. So you know what I'm saying?
Listen, Brian, you're making excuses to maintain your heliocentric religious zealot belief. This is a picture, the 2012 picture of Earth. We can see the United States here and down in South America, and I represented what we're seeing with this circle right here. Okay. So this is the ball that they say they took from space. This is what we're seeing on the ball, and you have to believe that the rest of this land, all of this land, is on the other side of that ball.
Right. Yes. That's right.
You believe, how does that fit on the other side of the ball when only this fits on the front of the ball?
Well, first of all, I have no idea what kind of that might be an optical illusion. That I have no idea how to read that. You're showing me a picture. You're showing me one picture, dude, and now you're saying, look at how big it is, and it wouldn't fit. That's hard for me to go on because I don't know. Again, you were talking about I can't trust my eyes. I don't know how far that is. I don't know what that looks like. So I can't answer that question.
Let me ask you a question.
I can't answer that question.
This was on everyone's iPhone. This is the blue marble.
Right.
Do you see that these clouds are stepped and repeated? Can you see that?
Can I see
these
what,
are the
buddy?
same clouds?
Okay. Yeah.
Can you see that they're the same clouds?
Okay.
Can you see that? They're the same clouds?
Yeah.
Now you have to believe that one of two things, that clouds repeat themselves in the exact same shapes,
right,
or that this is a fake picture.
Oh yeah, or it's a fake picture, or that fake picture was doctored by someone. Not NASA.
This
could be anybody.
is the one that's on NASA's website.
Well,
okay. They have no photos of Earth.
So NASA's that careless, and you guys found out, right?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna say something real quick. It is of my belief, Brian, that the internet got away from them. And they never expect, like, you got to look at what's happened in just the last 4 years on how everybody's questioning everything. They never thought we would ever have this technology to question any of this.
Brian, do you know that these are all underwater cables, which also, why isn't there any in the South? But, that's because the Earth is flat. But this is how 99% of all communications are done, with underwater sea cables, not by satellites.
I don't know how most of I don't know that you have that answer, right? You just said 99% of our communication is underwater cables.
This is common knowledge. You have to go do the research. Here's the thing. The ball has a big advantage over flat Earth. The Earth is a ball. I believe it. That's what they read in the textbook. Done. Go smoke a joint.
It's not matter. It's not that.
You got to study every single day. You got to look. You got to do the research.
What bothers me is that you're saying that this body of science, like I'm talking about everybody. You're talking about physicists. You're talking about astrophysicists. You're talking about all these people.
All of them.
All of these people.
Come on, dude.
They don't know. Most people. Come on, stop. There are whole departments dedicated to institutions of higher learning. I mean, entire departments dedicated to the fact that the working on the global, the round Earth model, and a small group of you guys have the truth, right? And you're saying all these scientists are either bullshitting or that they're ignorant. That's what you're saying, right?
So
I mean, and so for me, I go like this. I go, this is I'm just not getting enough. I mean, so much of what we do in our life, so much of the technology that really does work for me and for all of us, whether it's whatever it's medicines that push you beyond your biological limits, or the new frontiers of longevity, whether it's the kind of technology we are all enjoying, whether it's the fact that the internet is so unbelievable, all these things that are at our fingertips. There's so many things that we can point to that we benefit from when it comes to science. For example, the fact that we have figured out a way to grow fruits and vegetables in winter months and all that stuff. I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty amazing. Science has made big progress, right? So all I'm saying is that when I see that, right? When I see that, there's a lot of science that seems to work that I trust. When I look up what the weather's going to be, it usually is pretty accurate. That's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting.
Doesn't mean that we live on a ball. You're correlating things that have no correlation. You're using the personal incredulity fallacy because
I trust common information, right? So that's what I'm saying, and you don't. Right.
No. I question what I can't, and verify whatever I can. And the stuff that we're seeing is complete nonsense. Look at this. So this is the moon on a full moon night. If you're away from the city, I don't know if you ever get away from the city, you're in the middle of nowhere, there's no lights, you can read by the moonlight. Agreed?
I guess so, yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it actually will cast shadows on the ground. You know, like my moon shadow, the moon is casting my body shadow on the ground because it's that bright. It's that bright.
Right.
Okay. First problem is when you shine a light on a single source light, it has a hot spot and it fades out. But this light right here is equal end to end. The other thing is, here's the guys on the moon. This is the moon landing that you trust. This is a dusty, dirty gray ball. This light has to travel 238,000 miles back to Earth, which will dim exponentially on the way, and we see it this bright. This light that we're seeing here from Earth, if we went to the moon, would be 10 million times brighter than we see it here. Does that look 10 million times brighter than that?
No,
okay.
I don't know how to
listen, Brian. Brian, you are not understanding science. You are just quoting scientism, and you are pointing to other technology to say we have iPhones, therefore the Earth is a spinning ball.
What I'm doing is I'm saying the vast majority of scientists. The vast majority, so many.
Brian, do you believe that Nixon called
don't believe
the moon
in
the
what
White
you're
House?
saying. Right.
Brian, do you believe that Nixon on a landline called the moon? Like the guys on the moon, they're like, well, hey, how's it up there? It's
I don't
waiting on my pizza order.
Yeah, I don't know enough of that. But what I'm saying with Dave is what I'm actually saying when you say I believe in scientism. What I believe is in a massive scientific consensus. I don't hear anybody talking about this who's a scientist. I hear guys like you talking about this.
That's
I know you
because you're not listening. There are scientists. There's so many people. There's celebrities. There's scientists. There's a lot of people that are talking to us behind the scenes. Some of them have come forward. Listen. You have to let me talk once in a while. We have engineers. We have accredited people that we've done many interviews. We have all of these recorded, and you can watch and listen to them. There's people, but here's the problem. If you're an astrophysicist and you've got funding from whatever EDU university, if you come out for flat Earth, you lose everything and your family goes homeless. It becomes homeless. You're done. You're finished. So people are more concerned about the dollar than about the truth. During the Red Bull jump, do you know that he jumped 2 other times prior to this as test jumps? And the guy that was talking to him from Mission Control said they were having very hard time reaching him because of the distance. Okay, straight up, they couldn't have good communication because of the distance. 138,000 feet in the 1990s or whatever this happened.
I think it was the 2000s, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2000s. Okay, yeah. And they couldn't reach him at 138,000 feet, but Nixon talked to the guys on the moon with a landline with no fucking delay. Dude, wake up! Wake up!
So. Then what you're saying is there is. Let's get to the. I'm very fascinated with your idea that there's an ice wall. Right? There's an ice wall. Why in the world have I never seen it?
Because you never fucking look, dude. You want me to pull up a video while we're talking?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see the ice wall. So you're saying we've had people go to the edge of the Earth where they can't go any further. There's a wall there. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I explained it earlier. Maybe Sam can repeat it for you because you can't hear it out of my mouth.
Explain it again to me. You get so emotional about this.
Yeah, I do. So
Jesus,
dude, all love here, man. I'm just trying to get through to you.
No, but dude, I admire.
Children need to be yelled at to get through their thick skulls.
I admire your fucking passion. I still don't believe you, but I really admire that you've done the work here. This fucking guy's got
people vote.
He's all over this. All right, so explain to me why the fuck I've not seen, and like they're hiding the wall from us.
But Brian, you've never been to Antarctica, to be honest with you.
People have, though, haven't they?
I mean, like, who?
Shackleton and all those people out there.
Do you know anyone personally?
I
mean, honestly, can I ask that?
No, I do not know.
Okay.
I do not know anybody personally, but that's not a good criteria. I'm only one man. I can only know 200 people.
Right, so listen, I'm going to show you the wall, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to explain it again. Can you see this?
Yeah. So the ocean doesn't pour off the edge because there's a fucking wall, dude.
No, dude. So imagine the Earth as a smaller scale of the Earth is a 10-mile across circular lake in Kansas.
Okay.
And it's got islands in it. And you can sail all around the islands. But if you sail to the edge of the lake, you're going to get to the shoreline. You're not going to fall off.
Wait, let me read this.
That shoreline is 200 feet higher.
Hold on. Let him read that.
Listen.
Let him read that. What did it say?
Wait, go back to that.
Just a
go back to
bit.
that. Go back to that, Dave. It goes, if there was an ice wall, how come nobody has ever taken a picture of it, you dumb fucking cunt?
Yeah. This is actually, I should have put Bryan Callen underneath that.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Or every other scientist in the world.
And
I'm not a scientist.
The lion guy, his comeback was, how come no one's ever driven there? Well, that's because you're a fucking moron, Bill.
Jesus.
So,
Bill isn't even a scientist.
So look, here is pictures and video of the ice wall. I don't know how many you need to see because this is not even a fraction of 1% of the amount of images of the ice wall.
Or it's an iceberg, dude. Come on. That's the ice wall.
It's not. This is the shoreline of Antarctica. Period.
So how long does that go?
It's not an iceberg.
How long does that go? How far is that?
It goes 60,000 miles around the circumference of the Earth.
You actually believe that?
Dude, if the Earth was if Antarctica was a island, was a continent at the bottom of the Earth, it should be 13,000 miles around. All you would need to do to prove that is get two ships, have them within viewing distance of the shoreline, and have them go in opposite directions, and have them meet on the other side. No one's been able to do that.
Dave.
No one.
Okay, let me ask you this, Dave. Let me ask you this: when I fly, can I fly past the Earth? Can I fly from one end of the Earth to the other, one wall to the other wall?
You can fly from Santiago, Chile to Australia, but you can't fly over Antarctica.
Why not?
Because of the Antarctic Treaty. No one is allowed to go past 60 degrees south, which is still hundreds of miles from Antarctica.
Who's enforcing that?
Okay, so here's
wait a minute. Who the fuck is telling me I can't fly past that? What's past there? The White Walkers? The fuck are we talking about now, dude? Who is enforcing that law?
Penguins.
So 1957, they found more land in Antarctica and they created the Antarctic Treaty. Right?
Are
the
you
Antarctic
saying
Treaty.
there's no treaty, Brian?
Hold on. Keep
Brian,
going.
do you want to hear the answer, or do you want to
I'm
just
listening, Dave? I mean,
believe what you
listening.
believe?
I'm listening.
So they signed the Antarctic Treaty. All the countries, all the UN countries of the world, with all the bullshit going on, and said, we must protect the penguins. We must protect the ice. Nobody can drop a cigarette down here, and nobody can go here. No corporation, no person can independently explore Antarctica until the year 2041. Okay, that's when, and that they're going to kick it down the road if we're still here.
Oh, okay. Brian, you don't believe there's a treaty?
I don't believe that the treaty says we can't fly, that the Earth is flat.
And by the way, we've done the work. We on the app, if you click on the question mark and what about Antarctica? There's a video called "Sorry, Antarctica's Closed." A lawyer, a qualified person to research legal documents, did all the research on what it would take to explore Antarctica. If you had the money and the resources and the willpower, excuse me.
He's gonna die. You did this to him, Brian.
I know. He's running out of breath.
You did this to him, Brian.
So
wait, this is
if
awesome.
you had that, you have to spend a couple $100,000 on permits, and they will deny you, and they keep the money.
Who is they, my friend? Who is they?
They is the UN.
So the UN is stopping anyone. Human beings are very curious. So there are guys like you out there who you could not stop. There are a lot of guys like Bill, like Dave Weiss, who would say, "Is that your last name? Did I fuck it up?" Okay. A lot of guys like Dave Weiss and his friends, who there's no treaty in the world that's going to stop guys like you from actually going to the wall and crossing, or flying over it.
There have been adventurers that have gone down there and have been arrested and stopped and threatened to have their boat sunk.
So there are people there. There are people there who are monitoring the wall.
So hang on. There's 15 different
Don't
companies.
Die, dude.
I'm not going to die. There's 15 different companies that will allow you to visit Antarctica. It costs like $10,000 to $20,000 to go there for like 3 days.
Okay.
They bring you to the shore. They show you some penguins. They bring you a couple miles outwards south. They show you a pole in the ground. They tell you it's the South Pole, but it's just a fucking pole in the ground, and you can't verify it because compasses don't work and GPS doesn't work down there.
So in other words, you're saying then, my friend, that that wall and what's beyond the White Wall is guarded by the UN and has been since 1957, and that treaty is strong enough to keep anybody from flying over it. And where do we go after that?
So let me, dude, you don't understand how vast Antarctica is. If you were allowed to fly over there, how the fuck are you going to navigate? There's no GPS and there's no compass. How are you going to, and it's dark. Where are you going? And where are you going to refuel? Okay.
So that's
None
the
of it-
natural barrier. You're saying it's so vast and so dark that
It's so
you couldn't
out
fly
there.
because you would crash. In other words.
Correct.
Okay. So then around the perimeter of this disk is, you're saying, not only a wall that's probably relatively the same height.
Not a wall, the shoreline.
I'm sorry, the
Antarctic
shoreline. The Antarctic
Antarctica.
shore-
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Antarctica is the highest what?
It's the highest point.
It's the highest land on Earth.
Yes.
Just remember that.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And we live in the basin in between the shoreline of Antarctica.
Right. So what do you think is beyond Antarctica? Space?
No, I think that there's there's a frozen some sort of dome, but again, I don't know. I haven't
Can you
been
give
there.
me the best explanation for a guy like me? Can you give me the best explanation for not only why this is a lie, but how they're able to keep it a secret if this is
Because
actually
of people like you. Look how much you have no idea what either model is, and you're arguing for the ball and refuse to see solid evidence that disproves the ball. That's how they do it.
So you're saying that despite the evidence, guys like me are just not willing to look at the evidence because I've been taught something from the grave.
Right. Nobody likes having their ball taken away or their entire worldview ripped out from underneath you.
Do you
one
think
of the
that's
Nazi
a little?
scientists.
But isn't that a little
I'm in the middle of
condescending?
a sentence.
Right.
One of the Nazi scientists said that if you give them a kid from their early years for the first 7 years, then you've got their mind forever. Well, before you could talk, you were shown Sesame Street and all of these ball programming things, and then you go to school and your kindergarten teacher is a god to you, and they have a Rockefeller funded globe in the front of the class.
Why the lie?
Globe programming all the way. Do you have a globe in
Can
that
I
studio, by the
talk?
way?
No.
I'd
Do you have
like
a
to talk
Sam?
real
Yes,
quick.
Sam.
I got a couple things to say.
Go ahead.
Why the lie, Brian?
Yes, why the lie?
Because these people don't want us to know how special we are. It's
Thank
why
you.
our medical, our health system is built on getting us sick and profit. It's about us not knowing how special we are, where we are in this universe. So, who created? You hear my joke? I told you my joke. A Nazi, a pedophile, a Satanist, and a Scientologist walk into a bar. What do?
I don't know.
Invent NASA. Okay, that's who invented NASA. All right, that's who did.
NASA, the enemy, a bunch of scientists.
Okay, stop.
Unbelievable.
Von Braun is a Nazi. He is known. Go to Alabama.
I know, Sam. After the war, we recruited German scientists.
All right.
Brain power.
So, Brian,
Yeah.
can you look up? Can anybody here? Can you look up Von Braun's tombstone?
Gravestone, right? His gravestone.
His gravestone.
Yeah. Okay. I know, guys.
I just-
You guys are seeing all these things that NASA somehow forgets to put in there.
No,
They weren't
stop,
predicting the
Brian,
internet,
stop.
but, I mean,
I want you to
so
see
all
this.
of NASA's a
So
lie.
here it
So
is.
all of NASA's bullshit.
all of it. Every single bit of it. Nobody's ever been to
Brian,
space.
this is Von Braun's tombstone.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Okay? What's that? Psalm 91. Can you look up Psalms 91, please? That's Von Braun's his thing. Again, I'm a realm guy, but I just want you to take a look at this. This is the man who invented NASA. Please read that, Brian.
The heavens declare the glory of God. Should I read it in a German accent?
Yes.
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Yeah, day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night sheweth knowledge. There is no speech, no language, where their voice is not heard.
Okay.
That's pretty
so
good.
what
Dude.
is
That's
the
pretty good fucking
firmament,
joke.
Brian? What is the firmament?
The firmament would be the stars.
No, Brian, it's not the stars.
What is it?
Look up what the firmament means in the Bible. Johnny, please.
Is it hell?
It's the dome above us.
That's what
We are
it
in an
means
enclosed
in the
system.
Bible.
Brian, you know
Brian.
that space is a vacuum in your belief, right?
I don't know.
NASA
Yes, I
says
would-
space is a vacuum. There's no air. There's no pressure. It's a vacuum.
Firmament is a vast solid dome created by God on the second day to divide primary sea into upper and lower portions.
Okay. Okay. I don't care about that. I don't care that much about that. I don't care about an obscure scientist who has a religious saying on his tombstone. But we can read into all the significance of all that. But what were you saying, Dave? You said, do I believe that space is a vacuum? If NASA
if you
says
believe in
that,
NASA, you believe space is a
I
vacuum.
do believe in NASA. Yes, I think
Okay.
NASA.
So
I don't believe
space is a
that many
vacuum.
people would be.
Brian, you have to stop talking at some point.
You asked me a question. I was answering.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So space is a vacuum which has no pressure. So they say, if there's a hole in a space station, it'll suck all the air out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is the shit that they show us. This is them. Do you know that NASA does all of their training in the National Buoyancy Lab, where they have a replica of the space station underwater and they test it in water? Well, water is trying to get into that suit, and space is trying to suck everything out of that suit. So that's no place to do a test. But this image right here is from the National Buoyancy Lab, and they have rolled down green screens in that pool. Why would they need green screens in a pool to do training? Okay. They have this. Just look up National Buoyancy Lab. There's tons of pictures online. You'll see it. So that there, and then in all the spacewalks, we see bubbles. We see bubbles popping out of their suit and going in different directions and turning, which can't happen in space if they're flecks of paint like NASA claims, right? It's insanity what's going on. So here, let me just show you a
What
photograph.
about space? Do space stations exist or no?
So this is the space station underwater.
Okay.
Here it is with the green screen, and here it is in space.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
This is how they do it. Now,
Okay.
I'd love to talk about the space station, but it's going to take 2 or 3 minutes. Are you ready?
I'm ready. First
Okay.
of all, do you believe it?
Do I believe in the space station? Absolutely not. 100%. There might be something up there, but it has nothing to do with people in it. I personally think that light that we see is a natural phenomenon, but let's stick with one thing at a time.
Okay,
By
I
the way,
gotta
do you
say
remember
something.
a couple of years ago when they said a micrometeorite hit and put a hole in the space station?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes.
And
I think I
Chris
do.
Hadfield tweeted, "Hey, here's the hole. Here's the photo of the hole." Right? The astronaut tweeted, "Here's the hole." Okay, that they fixed with duct tape and bubble gum. Okay, and this is a photo from a record album from 10 years earlier.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so
Okay.
NASA is lying. They're mocking us. Now, did they? Oh, I didn't realize anybody would figure out that was from an album. No, they did this on purpose because check this out. You didn't even hear about it until now, and you're going to do nothing about it, right? And you're still going to believe NASA when we walk away, even though I just showed you that they're a fraud.
So can I just say one thing? Can I ask you a question? Another question?
Yeah.
While in the middle of this? It seems like there's a fuckload of money and manpower and time going into whatever they're doing in NASA, right? And we know that NASA also is involved in things like predicting weather and things like that, so that farmers can know when to plant
And
fertilizer.
in charge of all flight routes.
Yeah, all
NASA's
that
in
stuff.
charge of
All that
all
all,
southern flight routes.
Right, all that stuff, right? So we need for the most part a lot of the stuff that they do seems to be stuff that we use. But Dave, I never know why. Whenever you guys you talk about this and you say all of NASA, they're all liars or they're all full of shit. That's a huge government agency with a shitload of scientists working in it. Are they all in on the con? Or I mean, how do you get that many
not
people
all
to
of
keep
them.
a
It's
secret?
compartmentalized, truly. But let's stick on this vacuum.
But answer that question for 2 seconds, because what I'm saying is that I don't think human beings are that way. There are a lot of human beings are like you who look for the truth and don't like being lied to, right? A lot of people don't like being lied to. And if those scientists, if somebody is created this huge monolith, this leviathan, dedicated to quote unquote research in space, weather, all the things, that's a lot of manpower and money. How is no one in that organization, and I'm talking about 100,000 people more, how do any of them, why don't any of them go, this is bullshit? Like what is going on that we're able to keep this lie going, Dave?
So again, you're on the personal incredulity fallacy. So you say that there's hundreds of thousands of people at NASA. I say there's 1,000 people at NASA. Okay. You have no idea how many people are at NASA, and most of them are compartmentalized. You know what they did when NASA went to the moon, they on the Apollo mission, the Apollo missions, the Saturn V rocket, instead of NASA going out to 5, 10, 20, 50, even 100 companies and say, hey, we need this hinge, we need this valve, we need this cushion, we need this airlock, we need, make these things for us. They went out to over 100,000 different companies to make one little part each. This way, everyone could say, my uncle, my grandfather worked on the Saturn V rocket. How dare you say he was in on it? No, he made these things. People are making satellites. They send them to NASA, and NASA fakes send them to space.
It's all busy work. It's all busy work.
Getting back to the vacuum of space. These guys are in soft suits that are pressurized, and in a vacuum, they should explode like this guy, okay, in a vacuum. The air was sucked out of this container and Stretch Armstrong exploded. These guys should explode like Stretch Armstrong, but they don't. Okay. So we talked about flight routes. This is how you go from Australia. They go all the way across the tropics. They go over, the United States and then all the way back down. Why do they do that when they could just go underneath Antarctica or even stay at 55 degrees south and just go around the short part right there? Why don't they do that? Why do they go 3 times farther? And the answer is because this is the same flight route on a flat Earth map. It's a straight line.
Okay, so
right?
the people planning the flight routes, this would mean
NASA.
The people planning the flight routes
them all.
Are all lying, and the pilots are being duped, or they're in on it too.
Neither.
Okay.
I'm sorry. They're being duped. The pilots are following their flight route. They think that they're just taking the route that they go. They don't know where they're going. They don't question it. But check this out.
It seems so much work, Dave, to hold on to a lie. Doesn't it seem like a lot of work, though?
Listen. Pilots are speaking out. And we've got tons of video testimony from pilots that are figuring it out. The Qantas pilots told us that they openly talk about it in their lounges. All of the Qantas pilots know the Earth is flat, but they don't talk about it publicly because they will lose, they will be grounded, and they will be destined. They will not have jobs. Okay. There's so many pilots that have spoken out on the app in the questions area. What about pilots? Are they all in on it? Pilots and scientists? Testimony after testimony after testimony.
So, Dave,
are in there.
If that's the case, then what? So,
how about give me that was interesting.
No, it's interesting. It's interesting. Okay. Let me recap what you're saying. I want to recap what you're saying. A lot of pilots know that these flight paths are sort of, they're flying way too much. It looks like flights are way longer than they need to be, and they're speaking out, but they're not speaking out publicly because they're afraid they'll lose their jobs. That would mean that somebody has, and I want to get into this because this is important, because if we're really talking about this, it means a huge lie not only is being supported and kept alive, but also perpetrated, but also that there would have to be a motivation behind it. And so what I want to know is, first of all, who has that kind of power? And two, and again, I want to go back to this seems like so much, dude. It seems like so much work for people like NASA. Like, it literally seems insane, right? So they're doing all this shit. They're planning flight routes that are wrong, and they're trying to get us to believe this, and we got to do this flight route. And to me, I go like this. When I hear this, I go, I'm just like, what the fuck is really going on? Why all the work? Like, I don't understand why human beings would do all this work. Why are they doing it? Who is doing it? And in your mind, who is in charge of actually keeping this whole fraud alive?
So
is that too many questions? I don't know.
Yeah. So the puppets on the CFR are in charge of the world.
Who's the CFR? Who's the CFR?
Okay. So we see the rulers of the world. They're puppets for the other rulers. I don't know where the other rulers are. Maybe they live beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they are.
They're Jesuits.
I'm not going to speculate. They're out there. So again,
Black nobility. Brian, everyone thinks your dad's in the CFR, by the way.
He's not. I'm going to get him on this podcast.
Everybody thinks your dad's like, ask him about his dad.
My dad's, you'll love my dad. My dad's
Brian,
a fucking best.
I'm sure your dad
He's like me. He's like me. He's basically like,
Brian, you know what's amazing? All worlds are the same. This is Greenland, and this is Mars.
What the fuck, dude? Come on. Don't fuck with me.
Brian, can I ask you a quick question to Brian real quick? We're wrapping up.
No one's ever been to Mars. You know why? Because Mars isn't a place. Go out and look at Mars tonight. It's in the sky. It's brighter than any star. This thing is not reflecting light brighter than a friggin' star. Okay? Mars is within the Earth system.
We got to wrap it up here in a couple seconds.
We're going to wrap it up. But Dave, let's wrap this up this way.
Can I ask you a question, Brian?
You can.
Brian, can you go to the picture of the vehicle or whatever they landed on the moon? And then can you look at the actual doom buggy they drove around the moon? And I want to ask you, how did that doom buggy fit in to that thing that landed on the fucking moon?
And Brian, I got a question for you. If you were the first guy who went to the moon, not only did you go to the moon, you brought a dune buggy and golf clubs. Would you look like that when you came back at your press conference?
They might be fucking tired. But wait, Dave.
Brian, you are making excuses to preserve your
That's
worldview.
what they landed with.
I'm really not, Dave.
That's
I'm
what
not.
they, Brian. That's what they landed with. But then go to the other one.
I like that. I like that little
That's
thing.
what they landed with.
Right.
Okay.
Right behind it.
What?
The lander is right behind it. This is it right here.
Oh, okay. That's the lander.
This is the doom. That's the.
Oh, I got you. All right. Okay. Yeah, Sam. Fucking learn how to
Brian,
read a picture,
Brian,
dude.
Dude, stop, Brian. That was in
Hold on.
that with those guys there, and there was enough room. What were they flying like this?
Yeah, they
Like,
were.
I wish there was.
Yeah, they were
enough. I wish
spooning.
there was a little more.
They were
room.
fucking
They were
spooning.
sco-
God damn it, Dave. He's asking me trick questions again. You caught me in trick questions with the fucking ducks and with Iceland. Now hold on. No,
Look how
no.
big that fucking lander is.
Dave. The thing is that so as far as you're concerned, you actually don't know who's running the actual show. Yeah.
Do you shop at
Nobody
Costco?
knows.
I'm sorry.
Do you shop at Costco?
Right.
Do you? I'm asking
I
you
do.
a question.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And have you ever had to deal with the manager there?
No, but I you know,
Well, is he running the show there, or is there somebody running him?
there's somebody running him.
Who is that? Do you know?
There's a whole corporate.
What's his
structure.
name? Who is he? What's his name? Who's the person at the top
I
of the
don't-
Costco
I
ladder?
don't know.
Because if you don't know, then Costco doesn't exist.
Oh no, that's fair. That's fair. But so the thing is also is it seems that to have a small group of people or a large group of people that are very organized and very motivated along the same lines, Dave. What seems to me
$65 million a day NASA gets. $65 million
bro.
a day.
okay, so it's about money and it's about
No, it's not about money. It's about control
Power.
and mind control. Here's the bottom line.
Yeah.
They're doing
gotta
this
wrap it
to
up.
make us believe we live on a prison planet. They're doing this to make us believe that we're in a random accident living on a spinning speck that could be hit by an asteroid, that we could run out of fossil fuels. Nuclear bombs could go off, that we are insignificant, lost in space, out of control in a, at best, distant god or godless universe.
but they know
Okay?
better.
Versus, absolutely.
And how they
Versus-
learn wait, but let me finish.
so hang on. I got before we end this, I gotta bring up two more points. Just let me finish,
Yep.
then you guys can wrap it up any way you want. Versus, we are at the center of creation, that we are special, that we are here on a soul's journey, that our thoughts can create our reality, and that we don't have to obey those people that are assuming authority over us, because nobody has authority over us.
Sounds religious.
The other
That's
thing I
what
wanted to make-
the Buddhists
the other point I
say,
wanted to make
Brian.
earlier is this happens every you can't stop the truth, and the truth builds up and it breaks out. There's always been flat earthers, but now that we have the internet and Twitter and everything, it got out ahead of them. So now they're resetting everything. They're getting rid of they're locking down social media. They're flat earth is the next thing to go. But here's the thing. In the 1920s, everyone on earth knew the earth was flat. Not 500 years ago.
not
The
true.
Aristophanes story is bullshit.
not
I
true.
interviewed a woman, Ruth.
Brian was in kindergarten
That's
then.
not in the 20s. That's not true. People believe the earth
It
was flat.
absolutely is true. So listen. Were you there? No, you weren't. I interviewed
I've
a
read
woman.
history.
1listen. 102 years old. She was telling me stories about her 5th birthday party. I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs. And I asked her, she knew her teachers' names and everything in elementary school, and she in Connecticut here. And she said, I said, what did they teach you about the earth in science class in elementary school? And she said, they taught me the earth was flat, but then they changed it later, when she was in the higher grades. And we found another woman in Croatia in the 1930s. She goes, everyone knew the earth was flat, but then they changed it. And I just thought science was getting better.
Yeah.
We found microfilm of articles, newspaper articles from the early 1900s where teachers would be
Microfiche.
persecuted for teaching heliocentric nonsense.
Right.
Okay. They've changed our history. Then they introduced all the wars. The wars they're bankers' wars to erase history. Okay. Look into the World's Fairs
To erase
on the
history.
app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and ZODIAC Clock app. Hit the Tartaria mud floods button, and you'll learn something that you didn't know this morning.
Tataria, bro.
The
Someday
Tataria
you'll
now.
understand.
As
we wrap it up.
I appreciate you, Dave. I'm very impressed with how passionate you are about this subject. I'm very impressed with the amount of fucking research you do. This is your full-time job. You're either fucking completely crazy or you're on to something here.
Oh, Oh, that's a little bit of a win.
No. I mean, look, you got to love a guy who's this fucking dedicated to
And
this.
by the way, Sam saying he's a realm earther and a ball skeptic, that's a flat earther. It just doesn't have big balls.
Oh, shit. Oh, Sam, you don't have big balls.
I don't. I'm high and
Dave,
tight.
I don't think we really got anywhere, but I do appreciate that you.
It's so sad that you said that we didn't get anywhere because with all
Brian
the evidence
just
we
is
laid
taking
out.
so many
you couldn't even
L's.
see.
No, you know what it is?
Listen,
Listen, Dave, you know how you did well, Dave? Because usually Brian would say he won, but he didn't say that today.
Well,
he said we didn't really get anywhere. So
I'll
that's
take
a win, and that's a win.
Absolutely, it's a win. I would say this: Dave has to get the W only just for the amount of fucking research.
That's respect.
Now, the only thing, David, I would say is this: is that it's hard to argue with somebody though when the conventional knowledge that I have, for example, satellites, pictures of the globe, all that. When you don't accept that, the problem with all these debates is that
you're assuming a model. You're assuming something. You're
That's right.
assuming satellites.
Guys, we gotta
because
go.
The lawyers at NASA told you.
Right.
There's no photo. Look, the photos of satellites. There's supposedly not millions, thousands and thousands of satellites
my
in
phone.
space.
Yeah.
There's supposedly thousands and thousands of satellites in space,
Right.
and no one's ever taken a picture. This is what space is supposed to look like, and the space station can't get a single photo of a satellite. I mean, go look it up. They're complete, total garbage.
Yeah.
Dave Weiss, ladies and gentlemen, Dave fucking Weiss.
That's what.
You've been educated, motherfuckers.
So, real quick, guys, it's been a fun show. We're going to do more smacks.
Absolutely. I love this shit.
I thought it was a good debate. I want you to vote. I would like to go through the room and think who won, but I don't want to taint the whole thing.
Let's go through the room because it's. What do you think? Did I get
I'll
destroyed?
vote first. I
I
won.
definitely got destroyed, but I'm not. I still think it's a.
We can't hear him.
Oh, hold on. Put him on.
Okay, put him on the mic. There we go. This is Xavier Guerrero.
Yeah.
Xavier.
You took a lot of L's, Brian Callen.
What else in my name?
But I still think it's a sphere, but I'm not married
you're a
to the ball.
government shill,
But I'm not
motherfucker.
married to
You're
the
a-
ball.
you're a
Listen,
NASA shill.
when someone says, "I think it's a spear," it's not a spear. It's a sphere.
Sphere.
What is your number one proof? And you have none. I'll tell you right now. Spoiler alert: you have none.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Johnny,
science.
do you want to vote? And you can be honest.
Come on, Johnny.
Johnny.
No,
on,
nothing's
Johnny,
changed
have some
about what I
balls,
believe.
not like Sam.
Nothing's changed. I mean, I have a number of questions, but this show's got to end, so no.
No, well, ask him one or two. Okay.
Well,
no, we'll be
I mean,
here all day.
yeah. We'll
Go
be here all
on,
day.
go on. Ask one.
Well, like the meteorite thing you brought up, that photo was taken in 1984 and was published to Wikipedia in 2006. And then they used it for their album cover. And then the guy used it as an example. The photo was originally published by NASA, though, as an example of a micrometeorite puncturing a hole in a spacecraft.
But it's still a lie because he said that was the one that just happened.
No, he said it was an example of a
No,
micrometeorite.
he said this is the actual hole.
No,
and there's other
I'll
articles
read.
about
I'll
it.
read the actual tweet here. When your spaceship suddenly starts leaking air, you fix the hole with duct tape and a gob of epoxy. Nice save, space station crew. And there's this picture, which is credited to NASA. It's not dated.
All
or
right,
anything.
so again, they always leave a little out. They always leave it. It's just to drive people crazy. It's to tire out your mind. I mean, why didn't they show us a picture of the hole? Why didn't they do something?
Dave, you have a very cynical view of a lot of human beings. You
Unfortunately, it's true because the world is filled with idiots. Look at all the people wearing masks out there. They're all idiots.
Yeah, well,
Brian, I don't think you're an idiot. I think you're a wonderful guy. And I think we're slowly. I think you did better than you thought.
I still
Johnny,
think it's a
dude,
simulation.
I'm just a
simulation.
You don't think it's a ball?
I think it's a simulation.
I think it's simulation.
And
Oh,
that
it's
might be true.
simulation.
We might be in a computer. We might all be in a fucking computer.
We're on a holodeck,
This might-
son.
yeah, this might be
And
a-
I'm gonna
a
have
simulation.
Greg Carlwood on to tell you why the Earth is hollow.
Hey, go Google an image of a computer motherboard and a city. They look the same from above.
Well, at least you've been using Google to prove your point, but I would think you'd be very
Can I,
suspicious
just
of Google.
really quick, I have one more real quick
Because you believe
question.
some pictures, but not others. Yeah.
Just a real quick question. Okay, I want to hear, because one of the worst PR blows that Flat Earth ever took was that Behind the Curve documentary where they did that experiment at the end where
Right.
they lined up a series of holes over, what was it, like a
Give me
mile
30
or something.
seconds and I'll
Yeah,
explain,
please do.
explain
Yeah,
exactly what happened.
Because what
He's got an answer. I love
they
it.
tried to line up these lasers over the horizon, right? And if flat Earth, the theory is accurate, they should be
So-
pointing exactly at the same mark, but the guy had to hold the light up higher for it to reach.
That's right.
All right. So
saying
what
yes.
happened was we let them film it, and we didn't film it because we figured we can get all their footage. But the movie was super deceptive. For what it was, we had three pieces of sheets of plywood.
You created the
with,
experiment, though, right?
with a hole in them, all at the same level, based on the surface of water next to the where we set them up. So they were all level compared to the water. And we tried to shine a laser through them. And if the Earth was curved, the laser wouldn't get through the second hole because it would be out of line with the two. It was over like 2 or 3 miles. The problem was the laser melted. The laser spread out unless you have a condenser on it. We got this expensive condenser and it melted and the laser broke. So we couldn't do the experiment. So then we're like, hey, let's just try it with a light. And we tried to see the light and we couldn't see it. It's dark. It's doing these experiments is difficult. There was branches in the way. We held the light up. We could see it. We brought it down. We couldn't see it. And Jaren goes, that's interesting. Cut film. Then after that, they're like, hey, pull the light up again. They could see it. Bring it down again. And now we could see it again.
No footage of that exists.
Well, hold on. We could see it down low. That kind of proves that there's no curvature, but everyone there, ballers and flat earthers, agreed, walked away.
Ballers and flat earthers.
Too many variables. The experiment proved nothing.
Last question
but
to
the
Bryan.
movie made it look like he proved the curvature.
Do it again, right? Put it on YouTube.
Let me ask one question.
Exactly,
And my
John.
armpits stink. Sorry, guys.
Go ahead.
I was in such a hurry to get here today. Bryan, so you say we live on a curved ball, a ball that's curved,
Yes,
right?
yes, I do.
So what point in your flight do you feel the plane go down?
Again, these are questions I don't have an answer to.
Well, no, it's got to be your feeling because I feel the ball. I feel it go up.
I don't know, as we're getting to where we want to get to, yeah.
Yeah, but as you're flying, at what point do you feel like the front of the plane kind of going down over the curve?
550 miles an hour, you're going down a mile every 2 minutes just to maintain this
We're
track.
still in the Earth's atmosphere,
You
guys.
have to go down a mile every minute, every 2 minutes. A mile.
There's also
A
air,
mile.
but the air is moving also. You're
Yeah.
forgetting
Yeah,
that.
but Johnny, if the Earth is going down, wouldn't you be going down with it?
No, because I think we're in the Earth's atmosphere, right? So that would make
My
so we're going along with the Earth.
All right, Sam. It was great being here, man.
I love you guys.
Dave Weiss.
Weiss, the Flat Earth. Is it Flat Earth Podcast or the Flat Earth?
It's the Flat Earth Podcast, but the best way to support me is get this app, take the challenge, share it with your friends. You can gift it to them. You can text it to them. It's the greatest app ever. And just watch the videos every day. And in 2 weeks, send me an email and tell me how I ruined your life and nobody
I
in your
would
family
love for
respects
Bryan
you.
to
anymore.
Ice wall.
Take
All
that.
I know is there's an ice wall, and you cannot go beyond it. That's what I,
I
got
just
from this
showed you the
thing.
fucking ice wall. Say you're sorry.
You gave me,
Language,
dude, you gave me a
Christians.
goddamn picture from Google,
Guys,
and I think you work for fucking Google
this
Images,
is-
and I don't trust
Yeah,
Dave Weiss.
say hi to your
Conspiracy
dad
social
first.
You're getting
club.
money. You're getting money from Google.
AKA Deep Waters, AKA Smack. We'll
Dave,
see you on the
you
other
gotta come
side.
back. I need more of this. I need more, Dave. We gotta
Take
do
care,
more.
everybody. Bye.
You're a good man. Thanks, buddy.